Hi everyone, I am Florence May Sardido. Today I will report Lesson 17, Art and Psychology, Perception and Symbolism. Let's ponder about this. Perception is a set of processes that humans use in order to make sense, identify, and interpret the stimuli upon presentation of it. How we interpret those different sensations give basis on how our perception function. Symbolism is the method or practice of using symbols to signify the represent certain qualities, values, and ideas that are different from their literal signification. Psychoanalysis refers to the set of psychological theories and therapeutic method which is foregrounded on the study of Sigmund Freud. Gestalt psychology. Gestalt is known as the law of simplicity or the law of fragments, the entire figure of figuration, which states that every stimulus is perceived in its most simple form. Gestalt's theory in art. Gestalt's theory, a theory about perception, holds that the whole is more than the sum of its parts. It describes our ability to recognize patterns and make associations, group objects that are close together into a large unit, relate the group object of similar shape. Multi-stable perception in a tendency of ambiguous perceptual experiences to pop back and forth unstably between two or more alternative interpretations. This is seen, for example, in the Necker cube and Robin's figure. Vase illusion, center. Other examples include the three-pronged widget, the end artist MC Esther artworks, and the appearance of flashing marquee lights moving first one direction and then suddenly the other. Again, Gestalt does not explain how images appears multi-stable, only that they do. Invariance, the property of perception whereby examples of geometrical objects are recognized, independent of rotation, translation, and scale, as well as several other variations such as elastic deformation, different lighting, and different component features. Fragments. We like to create simplicity in order in what we see. The fundamental core of Gestalt's perception is the law of fragments. Law of closure. The mind may experience element it does not perceive through sensation in order to complete a regular figure. Law of similarity. The mind groups similar elements into collective entities or totalities. This similarity might depend on relationships of form, color, size, or brightness. Law of proximity. Spatial and temporal proximity of element may induce the mind of perceive a collective or totality. Law of symmetry. Symmetrical images are perceived collectively even in spite of distance. The eye prefers explanation with greater symmetry. Law of continuity. The mind continues visual, auditory, and kinetic patterns, even even if a line stops and viewer is able to follow it. Law of common fate. Elements with the same moving direction are perceived as collective or unit. The perception of space, perspective, projection. The process of transporting the visual image of an object into picture plane. Perspective. It is a process by which humans become aware of the relative position of objects around them. It provides cues such as distance and depth. Linear perspective. In Figure 9, structure of line perspective 1 point perspective. Figure 10, 2 point perspective. Figure 11, 3 point perspective. Symbolic meaning, psychoanalyzing the artist and art. A psychosexual study in infantile reminiscence theory of a subconscious mind by Sigmund Freud, 1856 to 1939, father of psychoanalysis. Here is the book written in 1910 by Freud about his psychoanalysis of sexual life of Leonardo da Vinci, based on his paintings, also entitled A Psychosexual Study of Infantile Reminiscence. Leonardo despised the sex act by man and women of reproduction, the act of procreation, and everything that has any relation to it, so disgusting that human being would soon die out if it is wear the traditional costumes, and if wear no pretty faces and sensuous disposition. Egyptian mythology, Mother Goddess Mut, Queen of Goddess, in the Lady Heaven hieroglyphics. Mother Mut wears a vulture headdress. Those extensions look like a male phallus. Salvador Dali is a Spanish surrealist artist renowned for his fearless inclination for self-expression. He tried to access his subconscious to unlock his inner creativity and imagination by utilizing themes like sexual symbolism, man's universe and perception, and ideographic imagery. He's interrupted the status quo with his art.